D7 chord. It's a pretty easy chord. Okay, index finger, second string, first fret, right there. Second string, first fret, right there. Then your middle finger, second fret, third string, just like that. Then your ring finger, second fret, first string. And strum away from or deaden string number 6. D7. Let's look at it one more time. Second string, first fret, just like that. And then your third string, second fret, middle finger, just like that. And then on the first string, second fret, is your ring finger, just like that. D7. All right, we're going to work on essential strumming pattern number 6, or the Rollin and Tumblin strumming pattern. There's going to be 2 different techniques that we're going to cover, and we're going to cover them separately. So that's what's next. All right, if you look at the strumming pattern, you'll see on the 3rd strum and the 7th strum, there's some markings on there. And that's indicating a muting. You're going to be muting the chord. And like I said, there's a couple of ways of doing it, but the first, you're going to be muting with the chording hand, okay? And I'm going to use an A chord to show you the technique. All right, so, and the way that works is it goes down, up, and then the mute occurs exactly when you're lifting your hand, so it's like this. So you strum and you hit the muted, deadened strings. That gives you like a chick sound, okay? In other words, you hold that chord on that up strum. Hold that chord, and then simultaneously the hand will lift, and the pick will hit the strings. Watch. That happens exactly at the same time. So you want that chord to sustain all the way until you chick. And in this particular technique, this is where people get in trouble. They don't trust the fact that you can hold that chord and everything will be cool if you just do those simultaneously. They want to lift early. Okay, so that's the one thing you're going to have to guard against. But like I said, there's 2 different techniques here. So if this one doesn't work for you, you can always go on to the other one. So we should do this for a little bit. Okay, so it'll be like this. Here's what we'll do. We'll go. And we'll practice that chick right at when the pick hits, the hand lifts and deadens. It happens exactly at the same time. So we should practice that a little bit so that you can get used to it, and make sure you're not lifting early. Make sure that the hand motion, the lifting, and the strum occur at the same time. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. Here we go. Okay. Down, up, chick. And down, up, chick. And down, up. 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 Good. Okay, now we're going to add the upstrum that occurs right after the mute. You can do this really, really slow if you want. If you're having issues with holding on to that, you can practice on your own and go really, really slow. Okay? So this is what makes this pattern work. Watch. Ooh, see when that strum comes back on after the mute. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go down, up, and back on. Okay, and if you look at the pattern, you can see how that does that, and then it just does it again. And that, when it does it twice, that completes a bar up. So it just repeats that over and over. Okay, so, but it can be tricky for people that they don't trust that they can wait. Okay, and then we're going to come back on, bring the chord back on. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it a whole bunch. Okay, here we go. And down, up. Got it? All right, here we go. And down, up. 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 Okay, good. All right, what if we do two of those now, and that'll complete out a bar. So we'll just do two of those, and then we'll stop, okay? And then we'll repeat them a bunch of times. Okay, so here we go. And down, up. Down, up. See, it has that like chugga thing in there, like not a train, but all right, so we're going to do a bunch of those. We're going to do one full bar, which will be two of those, and then we'll stop and do a mess of them. Okay, here we go. And and down, up, down, up, and down, and down, Okay, good. All right, let's connect a whole bunch of these up together using the different chords. We'll start with A. We're going to connect a whole bunch of these together. If you have trouble, go back, okay? And I see people struggle with this, and then sometimes when they're struggling with this technique, when we get to the other one, they're okay with it. So if it's a little bit of effort to figure it out, you're okay. But if it's making you crazy, then just go on to the next technique. All right, but something tells me, I'd say 80% are okay, but there's always that 20% in there that have issues. All right, so we're going to connect a whole bunch of these together. All right, here we go, on the A chord. And... All right, we're going to use the same technique, only this time we're going to do it with a D chord. If you want a complete mute on this one, you're going to have to bring your thumb around on those 3 strings. Okay, watch. Okay, to get that. All right, so here we go. And... All right, the same thing, only this time we're going to use an E chord. So you'll have to roll your hand over, lift and roll a little bit. You get that if you want to mute everything like that. Okay, so here we go. And... Good. Okay, now we'll do the same technique on the D7, the new chord that you learned. You're going to have to roll that over and bring your thumb over if you want it completely dead. Okay? So it'll be like this. Not like that. Okay, so here we go. And good. Okay, so it's going to be up to you when you're arranging something, whether you want a full, dead, chuck in there, that full, whether you want that or whether you want some strings to ring out. Yes, hear them ringing? So I would say when I'm playing, most of the time I'm leaving some strings ringing in there, but you still get that feel for it. Okay? All right, the second technique is some ways it's a bit simpler. You're just going to take the side of your hand, see, and your side of your hand and the pick hit at the same time. So that chord is still sustaining like before, and then right there is where that occurs. So that's a bit simpler than the other way using your chording hand, but I seem to prefer using the chording hand for some reason. It's just a matter of personal preference. Okay, so if you have difficulty with the other way, this way will work for you. Okay. All right, so just to be clear on going over the technique where you mute with your palm. So I'm using an A chord, you don't lift. Okay, don't lift with your left hand. And then you're going to strum down, up, and then whenever that, on that third strum, which is the strum down, that's when you mute it with your palm, side of your hand right there like that. So, and then after you do that, you come back on with an up strum. Okay, so that's the technique. It's like this. Just like that. Okay? All right, so what you can do now is go back to where it says practice sections for both techniques. That's like there's a black screen and then it tells you that. And so what I'm doing is I'm demonstrating the first technique, but you just ignore that, and then the practice sections where you're playing along with an A chord, and then you play along with the D chord, and you play along with E and D7. You can work this technique with those sections. Okay, so you don't really need to do that if you don't want to. I mean, you can just practice the technique by yourself. But if you need something to play along with, go back there. Okay, it's you'll see it's a black screen, and it tells you that you can use that section for practicing both techniques. All right, now let's take the strumming pattern and add a chord change in. And like before, we're going to use that up strum. right there on the open strings. Okay, just like before. So we're basically going to play, we'll play that twice, but that's actually one bar. And then we'll change, okay, and we're going to use A and D. All right, ready? And... Good. Okay, let's do the same thing. Only this time we're going to use an A chord and an E chord. Okay, ready? And... Good. All right, same thing, only this time we're going to go from E to D7. I like this chord change right here. I like the way it sounds. It's pretty easy to get from E to D7 too, because just the way the fingers are formed on E, just right over to D7, just like that, okay? So, here we go. And... That should be enough. Okay. Okay, now we'll do the same thing and we'll go from D7 to A. Okay. And good. Excellent. Well, now I think it'd be a good time to start sliding in some vocals. We're going to start with Rollin', and roll is right on a strum, and so is Lynn. Okay, and it's on a D chord, so it's like this. Rollin', rollin'. Did you see that? Rollin', and then the mute. Rollin', 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 rollin'. So roll is on the down strum, rollin', and on the up strum is Lynn. Okay, so that makes it a bit easier because remember before when we were doing things where vocals were landing between the strums and stuff, it's hard, you know. So we don't have that here. We just got this right on the strumming, right on the strums, which makes it easier. So we're going to do that a whole lot. And what we're going to do is rollin', and then I'll repeat it again right there. And after a while, I'll just jump in and repeat it a whole bunch. Okay, so that's what's coming next. Here we go. And rollin', 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 Good. Now we're going to add and a tumblin'. So it's going to be rolling and a tumblin'. Again, everything's falling right on strum, so it makes it easier. Okay, so we'll do that a whole bunch now. Ready? And rolling and a tumblin'. 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 Rollin' and tumblin', rollin' and tumblin', rollin' and tumblin'. Good. All right, so the next part's going to have a chord change in. It's going to go from D to A. So we'll set that first part aside for right now. The rollin' and tumblin'. We're going to do I Cried the Whole Night Long. I cried the whole night long. See? Watch. I cried the whole night long. Okay, so we're going to do that a whole bunch now. Ready? Here we go. I cried. That's D to A. All right, here we go. And I cried the whole night long. 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 That should be enough. Good, good. All right, let's put those two together. Rolling and tumbling, I cried the whole night long. Rolling and tumbling, I cried the whole night long. Rolling and tumbling, I cried the whole night long. Rolling and tumbling, I cried the whole night long. Rolling and tumbling, I cried the whole night long. Rolling and tumbling, I cried the whole night long. Rolling and tumbling, I cried the whole night long. Good. Okay, so this next part's going to be on an E chord. Hurt your feeling, baby. Hurt your feeling, baby. Okay? That's what we're going to do. We're going to do a bunch of them. Here we go. And hurt your feeling, baby. 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 Okay, the next part, so this has gone all wrong. It's going to be a D7, that new chord you learned. So this has gone all wrong. Okay. And that so comes in on an upstrum too. Okay. And so this has gone all wrong. 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 Good. Okay, so let's put those parts together. Be an E chord, hurt you feeling, baby, to the D7. So this has gone all wrong, to the A chord. Okay, and we're going to make a loop out of it. Here we go. And hurt you feeling, baby. So this has gone all wrong. Hurt you feeling, baby. So this has gone all wrong. Hurt you feeling, baby. So this has gone all wrong. Hurt you feeling, baby. So this has gone all wrong. Hurt you feeling, baby. So this has gone all wrong. Hurt you feeling, baby. So this has gone all wrong. Hurt you feeling, baby. So this has gone all wrong. Hurt you feeling, baby. So this has gone all wrong. Good, moving along. Excellent. All right, so let's put this whole part together. I'm going to put the parts in that I left out, the pickup things, you know. Well, for one. I'll add those in. Okay. Well, it's actually well-ama. Well, I'm rolling and tumbling. So I'm going to put all those little pieces in. So we're going to play this first verse over and over. Okay? I'll play a couple bars and I'm going to jump in. Okay? So it'll be like... right there, then I'm going to change to D, and I'll add the vocal in right there and change to D, and we'll start. That way you'll know what's going on. Okay? So here we go. Well, I'm a-rolling and a-tumbling. I cried the whole night long. Well, I'm a-rolling and a-tumbling. I cried the whole night long. Well, I hurt you feeling, baby. Pretty good. Okay. All right, so now what you should do is just play the living heck out of that thing. Play it and play it and play it. Because all the verses are basically the same. They just have different lyrics in them. And I'm not going to break those other verses down into pieces like I just did with this one, because I don't think you need it. I think if you just play the heck out of this and get used to it, you'll be able to make any minor little adjustments in there that you need. Okay? All right, it's time to play this thing, rolling and tumbling at the full tempo. One thing you're going to notice since you've been practicing it slow, as soon as you up the tempo, you're going to be chasing it. So you got to kind of go through that for a while. Just chase it, and then eventually you'll settle in. Okay, so you're going to notice towards the end of the song, there's a thing coming in. It's called a drop chorus. And what a drop chorus is, it's an arranging technique. And the idea behind that is, after things happen for so long, sometimes you bring instruments in, sometimes you bring them out, sometimes you bring new things in. It's all arranging, okay? And so sometimes it can get to a point in a song in the arrangement, this is my arrangement, so it needs something. So sometimes adding something is the wrong thing to do. Sometimes the right thing to do is drop stuff out. So you'll notice how everything drops out in the drop chorus. So it plays a drop chorus, and then all the instruments come back in for another chorus, and then the song ends. All right. So what are you going to do during the drop chorus? Well, if you watch what I'm going to do, I'm just going to strum one time on the chords. I'm not going to play the rhythm. I'm just going to strum one time on the chords, and that's going to become obvious once you see it. So that's what's coming up. Have a good time with this song. I really like it. This thing really cooks, you know. So that's what's coming up next.
Well, I'm rolling and
right, next is going to be the part of the lesson where you play along with the tracks like before. The only thing different here is it's not going to end. Well, the lesson will end. We're going to move on to essential strumming pattern number 7 then after that. So, okay, don't think it's over like all the other ones before, because there's another lesson that's going to follow it. Okay? Okay, essential strumming pattern number 7. It's important that we do 6 and 7 together like this, because what you've been playing is this. You're very familiar with that, right? So in number 7, instead of it being a down up, everything is down. See, I'm strumming everything down. And the mutes or the damping fall in the same places. Okay, so whether you dampen with your chording hand or your strumming hand, that's all going to be the same. Okay, so and what I've done is I've taken the arrangement and completely redid it. So we're going to use the same song, and that's going to save you a lot of time because you won't have to learn new melody or new chord changes, new chords or anything. You can just focus on this one strumming pattern. So this is going to go really quick for you. So that's what's next. We're going to get into a new strumming pattern, and even though these are very similar, it's important that you know how to separate them, because that the first one that you learned where you were strumming down up, that has more of a, I don't want to use the term laid back, but more of more of a laid back kind of a feel to it. This one has a bit of a more aggressive kind of a feel. And what you do is, in songs out there, when you come across one, you try them both, and one will work better than the other. Okay, so that's what's coming up next. All right, it's time for some final thoughts. So now you have two new strumming patterns. You'll be able to play all kinds of songs. And these patterns are going to set you apart from other players, especially those that just play nothing but ballads all the time, okay, which is very common. Okay, but if you're going to put a set together, you want to go out and perform, take your acoustic guitar and go out, earn some money paying gigs, you need these up-tempo strumming patterns. So just by what you've learned so far, you have a large variety of songs you're going to be able to play. Okay, so, and following this is going to be a track for you to play along with like before. So I'm going to say catch you later now in the next lesson.